and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. On this evening's update, we have 3 different topics to go over. Obviously, we're going to go over, maybe not obviously, but first and foremost, we're going to go over the XRP chart. As yesterday when we left, we found a very big bearish area that we could have a drop. But at the same time, we talked about how even if you were going to make a decision on if it wasn't holding, wasn't the game for you, which we're not selling anything as of right now, obviously. But we talked about don't do anything until the market-wide 10 to 15% pump today. We could see we were overextended. We knew we had to retest upper areas. However, right now, Bitcoin came over a very big resistance level at 66,600. And now we're going to work our way up to some important levels that we'll discuss here further. We need to make a look at the weekly time frame, how we need to surge out of what looks like a long leg doji as of earlier. We'll see how it looks now with the recent price surge. But we'll look at 2 key things as well. So this is a big thing that's in developing. The SEC is attempting to classify Ethereum as a security. A report came out. So we're going to see what that is all this, what's to do with that, because that could obviously trigger a market-wide uncertainty right there. And then the Ripple and US SEC jointly agreed to seal details and remedies briefing. So now Ripple is working with the SEC to not release the factual information to the public and keep us behind closed doors, which I don't appreciate personally as a shareholder. But hey, what am I going to do? I'm just a little fish in a big pond, actually a big ocean. So that's kind of a kick in the nuts. I'd rather see what's going on behind closed doors for all we know. It could be something negatively affecting us as a holder, which we wouldn't want to hold on to anymore. Or it could be something fantastic that somebody might want to start holding. So, it kind of goes both ways there. So I don't appreciate them hiding behind the black tape, personally. But we'll go over the surge in the market. We'll go over Bitcoin and how it's reversed about almost 6,000 points here. And we'll go over the key resistance support areas. We'll go over the comments here in just a minute, as I don't know how many people will be here. But if you are watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. It helps so very much, as I have I don't even know what backdrop this is. It helps out so very much. Julie, do you know where I put the other control? I don't either. But it helps out so very much for the YouTube algorithm. So when you're searching through a feed, if you hit that like button so YouTube will recommend the live, you'll end up allowing it to scroll through other people's feeds and allow us to continue to grow our community. I like a different backdrop personally, so it makes me feel better. But if you are watching, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this live. And then also, make sure to share this on social media. But in the comments, remember, we'll come from a loving standpoint. We try to help positivity over negativity. So we're not trying to, be the victim in the comments. We're trying to play the winner here. Not trying, but we are playing the winner. So we have to have all the factual information, whether good or bad. So we're going to try to break down the market here together in a very nice way. It's good to see everybody here, and I want to thank each of the 21,000 subscribers as we went over that today. So I want to thank everybody as we're approaching our 3-year anniversary on YouTube on the 30th of this month. And I'm proud to say we've never missed a day here, putting out updates and lives and such, and what we decide to do. So with further ado, I'm just going to do the intro. Please hit that like button, please, so YouTube will recommend this live. Good evening, 6:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So we were here just a few short hours ago, so a little exhausted already before this live even starts, as we did over an hour and a half earlier with Jerome Powell, and just everything that was going on with the Fed meeting. As we found out earlier, they are not raising rates, but they said 3 times this year they're going to lower rates. I mean, they stayed the same. They didn't cut rates, but they said 3 times this year they're going to cut rates. So, but then they also slipped them in 25 and 26. They're going to raise it at least 1 time or 25 basis points each year. So who really knows what's going on here? I do believe that they'll cut rates at the next meeting, make it look good. Like I said, got to make it look good for the public. And for every action, there's a reaction. So for every, non-right move here by the Fed is going to just cost us more in the end. So what's going on here is they're going to continue to make the markets look good. They're going to continue to cut rates here or stay the same going into the election and have the facade. So that's just what it is. The fact they're not raising rates when they continue to print money is a recipe for doom. But the short-term prospects are still good because of them kicking the can down the road, so to say. Silver's breaking out for all intents and purposes if you're not paying attention to that. Gold's almost over 2,200. I've given my levels to buy some things. I've bought B2 gold at $2.44, and I've got $4,000 roughly in B2 gold of my money. And then I've got $2,000 in Newmont gold as I bought when Peter shifted. It's only up about 6 to 8% from where I bought, but I've been giving the hint and the reason for Newmont, world largest miner, or at least in the what we buy on our exchange, but they've been hit with a lot of things here lately, and it tanked so much here recently. And then when Peter Schiff said he was buying, I decided, you know what, this is the time. So it's just, these are things, that one pays a 4.5% dividend. B2 gold pays 6.25% currently. So it's pretty cool. And then, you know, it's a waiting game here, but they are very undervalued right now. But as we get into this, just pay attention. It's very quietly under the radar. Gold's about to hit 2,200. Very quietly. Silver's about over 25.50. It's getting ready for a big move. Fortuna's up 7% today. B2 gold was up 3.25%. Where's Newmont? I don't know why it's not on here. But then we got to get into this, and I'm going to get into the comments, but we have got a lot to talk about. If you want to show me personal support for always being here, you can always join Tom's Army, get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens in month 1. Or all I ask is you consider sending one YouTube super chat per month for the extraordinary amount of time I put in. Haven't got any donations. Nobody joined Tom's Army today, so we'll see. We'll see what happens here, but I really do just need everybody to be here. A donation can be hitting that like button even. So there's Newmont. I believe they're at 34 something after the, 34.75, another 1.31% after the close. It's a perfect recipe right now. Perfect recipe. So anyhow, let's pay attention to this. So let me just say hi to everybody real quick, and then we're going to get on with this. Please make sure to hit that like button as well. That is all I ask. If you respect my work and my time, help me grow this community to 100,000 subscribers in time. Help me get that plaque that we can proudly present behind us. But I have to get to 100K subscribers, which we will in time. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I greatly, greatly appreciate that, JW, and I hope you're having a blessed day so far. And some of the ones who told me about BuyTrue or BitTrue can't do it. USA users in my region, they won't even let me sign up for an account. So that is the reason I never talked about it. Now I remember. I tried looking into it more earlier. For everybody who asked me earlier. Light Switch Tom, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Appreciate you, looking forward to the live as always. Steven, Jorge, Zoomsta, Mark Caston, Jordan Langdon, welcome in. Yes, 21,000 indeed. Thank you so much for that, Jordan. Each and every one of you for subscribing. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 5 months with the extra, or 6 months plus with the XRP Predictor. UK Phil and Rob Holkaluk, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Marvin Davis, welcome in. Always good to see you in here, friend. Steven Jackson, welcome in. 80 Style. Xavier, welcome in. Thank you for being in the audience as well. We've got Rockin' XRP Painter. It is a lovely day, friend. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. XRP Tribe, welcome in. Yes, got to use XRP indeed. Bob Burtner, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. You better believe it. As sure as day. That's my face superimposed on there. John Patak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Simon, welcome in. Tanja, Brighton, welcome. How to buy XRPH. Video description below and or pinned comments. MEXC has it. If you can use MEXC, take advantage of it on MEXC. I can only because I've already been on MEXC. I will tell you today, since I talked about it, it's gone up 8 to 10%. But we're looking at that rotation. This is a very interesting one. And we'll continue to cover that. That's the XRP Healthcare. That's on the XRP Ledger. And that's got a 100 million token circulating supply. 57 millions in circulation, and they are a virtual, basically, they're trying to, it's the first on the ledger of a virtual pharmacy slash kind of storing data and such. So it's pretty interesting, pretty interesting. So if you can take advantage of it, click that link from MEXC. Yep, same here with USA. So I'll have to look deeper, but there's only 2 exchanges that I know of via looking around that make it somewhat accessible, but it's not easy. There's this other one right here that's Bitmart. So I'm going to look more into that exchange as well, just seeing that they've had this on for a long time. Nope, same with me, Breton. That's why I say if you're outside the U.S., take advantage of MEXC, but unfortunately, us in the USA, it's not an option. But it is in the video description below and or pinned comments if you need to use it. And then obviously, if you're looking to trade in the USA, there's in the comments below pinned is BITUNIX. It's been my saving grace here in the USA to buy XRP. Very low spot fees. It's the lowest spot in leverage trading fees in the USA. And I don't need a VPN nor KYC to trade unless I'm depositing from a bank or sending to a bank, which is a blessing in disguise. That's their big agenda, BITUNIX. They're trying to go against the know your customers so people can maintain their independence and their kind of secretiveness of moving funds around in crypto, because that's what blockchains were initially made for. Even though we have a footprint, I appreciate that. Well, the AMM goes live on Friday, and I'm not necessarily bullish on that. When XLM on the seller network, when they're equivalent to the AMM went live, XLM dumps from 32 cents all the way down to 9.5 cents. Granted, it was in a bear market cycle, but on the current path that we're on right now, this could, I don't know, I don't know. I've got an eerie feeling right now. John Patak, welcoming, as I said. Joshua Gawardo, welcoming, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over, what is that, 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Corral Gaming, welcoming. Will we see a convenient XRP pump? It's looking that way. It's looking that way. Zippy T, good evening. Vage said, yo, Tom. Hey, Vage, welcome in, friend. Good to see you in here. He said, try CoinGecko. I'm going to have to look into that, Vage. Thanks for that suggestion, friend. Vage's been around for a long time. Appreciate seeing you in here, buddy. Zippy T, good evening. So let's get into XRP real quick now that we're caught up on the comments. So to get into, Carrie, welcome in from New Zealand. Appreciate that, Vage. Love that you love the stream. I'm glad to see you in here too as well. So with XRP right now, what we got to deal with is, let's get into the nitty gritty here first of all. So we know XRP is on the small cup. And if we're looking at this in the weekly, it actually times up pretty perfectly. Then we've got this bullish handle. I'll keep it in the weekly for just a sec because this part is still part of the outer work, this green arrow. That is still part of the handle. However, when you get above this yellow area at about, right now it's at 63 cents, you become into that bullish breakout area. So this would be considered the extension, and if you break over this, you should have a clean break. You have 82 cents in between, along with 75, but this suggests once you break this, if you take out all the short pattern movements, that you should come up here to double top. Unfortunately, so far we got rejected here, and as of right now, we couldn't get past here at this 63 cent roughly. However, where we're at right now, it does suggest, yeah, about 63. So we'd have to get through these small areas on this handle. Otherwise, if we got rejected, you're still bullish unless you break this line right here at the bottom of the handle. Unless you break 50 cents and show confidence in breaking down, you are still absolutely bullish because the bullish handle is just that. When you break out of this handle, it's huge. In the initial movement, if you just look at the base of the handle, it's pretty spectacular. It's pretty spectacular. Remember, though, every reaction has an opposite, so basically, if this does something opposite, you'll have the same action, but the opposite direction. So if we break up, I mean, look at that break, guys. That's technically out of the bullish handle, and this isn't a joke. The bullish handle suggests if you break that handle, you should be coming up to like $1.03 in this area. We have to keep moving it as we come down this. Actually, no, it's higher. What am I talking about? Don't even listen to me. Don't even listen to me because I confused myself by having the green and yellow. I knew it was higher. It's like that $1.08 it should be. Or somewhere around there. So if we did break out, it's pretty spectacular. But remember, If it doesn't break out, you have the opposite reaction. But until it breaks down, see, that's that $1.08 in gray. But we're estimating it about almost through, so it'd line up somewhere right about there. But if we break out of here, you're talking about $1.08. If you do that, and then that's from down there. But if you look at the real breakout, if you do it from up here properly, we can get rid of this. You move this up here, it's like $1.21. That's what we're talking about if XRP can break out. If we put out of this bullish handle, this is what it's suggesting, a break to $1.21 initially after that 77-month breach of approximately, now it would be around 72, 73 cents. But that's what we're looking at here. It would be fantastic, wouldn't it, in Bitcoin, if we can get the cooperation. Now, I always do this just not to make everybody worry, but just to understand if it went south, what we'd be dealing with. And look at the differential here. That would go back all the way to the all-time pattern formation. The only reason that makes me a little skeptical, or not skeptical, it gives me a little bit of credence that I still pay attention to that formation. One, rising channels are typically bearish reversals. Two, if this handle did break down, it would be an outright disaster for XRP. And three, when we look at the all-time formation, where does that line up perfectly? This is the all-time uptrend. It's already suggested to us if this went to hell, at this point in this year, look where this target is. Look where we're at. You can't make this up. That's the all-time uptrend. If you just get rid of all the noise, that's the all-time uptrend for XRP. So am I going to put credibility into it? Or am I going to just blow it off? No, I'm not going to blow it off. But this is the actual uptrend we started with in the beginning of all times. And this is worst case scenario. And ironically, that breakdown, and what did we find out here at the trading bots? They turned off the sells. We've never been able to achieve that magic again. So, yeah, and unfortunately, we can't use BitTrue either. It's the same problem as MEXC. I tried. Won't let me use it in my region. So we face the same issue as we do with MEXC, unfortunately. So what do we make of that? The technical target on a breakdown is actually back to that uptrend. Does that mean that we would get rid of this entire failed pattern, come all the way down, and then bounce out? That's been one of the speculations before. That if we came all the way down, I put it out here. I just don't show everybody very often because then everybody gets mad. But we put down the worst case scenario if it happens. And that would be a nice... And the cool thing about this, if we could front run it, imagine you bought it down here, let's say 2 cents, and then we have this first bounce. That's how you get 14,000% moves back up to all-time highs. So in some ways, we'd be begging for it if we could just get out in front of it, remember. We have to get out in front of it, though. That's the scenario where if you hold, you break your back. I think we'll have a pump into the AMM, but couldn't that be a big breakdown after? We don't know. But I think we're bullish going in. Like I said when we were doing the live update with the Fed, in my title I said this is bullish for crypto and XRP. This was before we started pumping like this. We were still down. But I knew because they were lowering rates, at least initially, it's going to look good for crypto. Commodities and precious metals, Julie, gold's over 2,200. Holy shit. Have we ever been over 2,200? I don't think so. I think we just hit all-time highs here. For the first time, gold hit $2,200. So congratulations, everybody in gold. As we know, we have a technical move up here that should line up with about 2,400. This has been a long time coming for us. Holy shit. Right under the radar, everybody. Not under the radar for me, but under the radar with all the crypto hype. We've got a technical breakout move here to 2,300 for gold. Julie, 2,300 is the technical target. Holy moly. We're talking about 12 cent or 1 cent XRP in case we had the massive breakdown. Because I always show a reaction and an opposite reaction in case it doesn't play out. Just in case. But right now, we're looking because we're on a cup and handle. That is a bullish formation. So if we break out, we're looking at $1.21. And in the current environment, as long as we can break this pattern and this handle stays bullish, and that can bring us to 50 cents, as long as we don't lose that, we're expected to break out to $1.21. It's just if we were to break down and lose this bullish handle, you have to remember we start over. We start over. I don't want to make anybody scared, but we start over. If you don't hold a bullish cup and handle, you start over. the reaction of a breakout would now be a breakdown, because if you don't have support through that bullish handle, there's a lot of built up pressure in a handle. And if it pours out, you start over. And unfortunately, go back to the overall uptrend. That's just how it works. So to me, you wouldn't sell unless XRP loses 50 cents and so support or resistance. And then you can sell out and you'd have a massive recovery attempt. Massive. We would have a lifetime opportunity then. And I would, be for it. By no means am I saying I'm anywhere near selling out. I'm just saying this opportunity if presented, I'm taking advantage of it. But I still anticipate a move to $1.21 at a 75% clip. Until we break out of that handle, it's a 75% likelihood that we should go up there. Historically, you break bullish out of handles. So I hope we never see those numbers. This is just, hey, we need to be cautiously optimistic. This is what I do. 177 people watching. I would really appreciate if more people would make an effort during this live to hit that like button. Only 97 likes. That's barely half. If new people come in here, they're not going to stay. I think we need to do a better job. If you respect my work, if you respect my time, or the fact that I'm so diligent that I came back so quickly after an hour and a half covering the Fed, you know, please show me that same respect I show in each and every one of you. And thank you, Simon B53, for that $5 donation. My first donation of the day of any kind. So I greatly appreciate you paying it forward like that. That is such a great show of support. You know, so I do appreciate to the ones that continue to support my work. But I do need that like button. I really do. So that's what I'm looking at. So does that make sense, everybody? But ultimately, if we can break up here, ladies and gentlemen, and we get on top of this technical breakout zone, this is why it looks so beautiful. If we get on top of this, that handle breaks, now you get on top here, next level's up here to retest a wider cup that we're trying to form here. So yeah, there's always the optics of the breakdown, but guys, I don't know, I've never heard of CoinStore, to be honest with you. I want it to break up. I'm fully invested, guys. I just show you because it's an exit strategy just in case. But right now what we're looking at here, if this does what it should do, from this level we'll do 617. I mean, look at that. That's a 97% breakout. That's what we're looking at if this bullish handle breaks out from where we're at right now. If you just take the move from the top of the handle where we estimated it, the technical breakup from that handle is about 63.5 cents. It could be higher because you'd probably come up, but this is the next handle or the next cup here. It's perfectly lined up. Yes, we will break away from Bitcoin eventually, but not in the way everybody thinks. We'll be able to pump on days when Bitcoin doesn't, and we'll run our own show, but we're never going to get up to the price of Bitcoin. We're not. It's just not going to happen. That doesn't mean we can't hit 3 and 4 digits, but I just don't believe we're hitting 6 digits. I believe we're going to be very wealthy, and I believe the way we do it with XRP, there's other things on the ledger we're going to discover, like XRP healthcare I've been talking about, and it's all going to make us independently millionaires. No doubt about it. It all starts with the XRP ecosystem, though, and the ledger has a lot of hidden gems, and even more hidden gems than just Corium and Solo. I'm talking ones with, this one has 100 million tokens, and they're trying to revolutionize digital healthcare and pharmacies. It's crazy. It's crazy. Some of the things that I've been uncovering. It's kind of like an early CeeLo or whatever on the XLM Stellar network. There's some gems here. Larry Sanders, thank you so much for sending your first YouTube super chat during the live streams. $4.99. What a great guy this guy is, Larry. Man, oh man, thank you so much for that. Every action has a reaction. That's exactly right. Tom, go easy on yourself. You are ripping it. Thank you very much, Simon. I appreciate that. Hey, you know, when this all started, remember in January, I had a brutally honest conversation with my audience, with each and every one of you. If you were here during this when I came out and said I thought I wasn't doing as good enough job as I could have, I wasn't spending as much time. I came out in the mid to late January and said this, and I promised from going February forward that this was going to be revolutionized here. Now it has been. So we've done such a great job here growing the community. I've never had more watch time hours, ever. So It's been pretty incredible. We broke a record for the most people in a live the other day with 406. But the community's transcended here, and the quality of content, I feel like I'm doing a great job. Not just me, but the audience as well. And remember, if you have a question, there is no dumb question. The only question that's dumb is the one left unasked, because then you have no answer. None. So we can still see, though, if this reverses properly, our next big step here, hold 61. Then we get over, I say 633 just to make sure. Then after that, we have to get up right here at about 67.4 now as we continue moving. 67.4. And then the biggest level here would be to get over 74, 75. So these are the big levels we have to get over. Obviously, this next 24 hours is going to be critical because we're looking for a close here in the next 57 minutes over 61 cents. A close over 61 cents does a lot of good here in the daily. It really does. Does a lot of good here in the daily. As you see, WaxP that some people started buying when I started talking about it, it's up almost 11% today. About 17% from a couple days ago. Other than that, though, Bitcoin's at 67,562. It's way over that 66,600 area. That's a major level that we had to retest. And we actually have done a pretty good job here. We've tried to invalidate this movement. We never lost the 4-hour time frame. Remember the speculation that I had that if we were going to wholesale break down, I didn't think it was possible until we did what? At least put in a wider top to where some people were saying this is an M. That's not technically true. In a smaller time frame it is. But if you want the M, you got to do something like that. So that's why we speculated that this wasn't done yet. As long as we held 62,588 and at worst 59,852. But the bounce off, remember the arrow we had from right here for a couple days? So everybody could see if we made a bounce here, then we would expect this. That's what we were talking about, because then it would retest at 73,700 top. It's the only way you can truly get a double top. That little drop we had before, to me, that's not technically what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a big M there if it's actually done. And then if you break back within there, holy smokes. Holy smokes. But yeah, if we see 50 cents, don't panic. That's the handle support. So don't panic. That's actually a natural hit if we do break down. No need to panic there. That's our strongest support on the board right there. That handle support now becomes the most dominant and critical support that we have on XRP. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, everybody. So I do have the information about Ethereum. I did my homework. So I was breaking to my audience because when I was live, I was seeing on my phone, and then some were saying in the audience about Ethereum possibly being ruled as security. So let me follow up with that real quick. So while I'm reading this, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. It'll help push us through the feed on more and more people. That pushes us through the algorithm. And then not just the new viewers, but the old ones who are scrolling through their feed who might want to see us, or the new ones that need to see us. It'll pop up because we're more part of the algorithm by hitting that like and YouTube recommending this live. So the SEC is attempting to classify Ethereum as a security. A report comes out. So several U.S.-based companies reportedly received subpoenas from the SEC related to attempts to label Ethereum as security. How many in the audience have seen this? And if you have seen this and you agree that an Ethereum is a security, hit that like button. We have 145 likes. I want to see if we can get closer to 183 by the ones who think Ethereum is actually a security. Because I've been stating this long ago that they were going to come after Ethereum eventually. They had no choice. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission has reportedly issued several subpoenas to companies related to attempts to label Ether as a security. And thank you, whoever said that. Who said that about who asked me to follow up about Ethereum? Whoever asked that question, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Tanya May, welcome in. Did you ask me, Tanya? Thank you, love, for tuning in and being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Ether can die along. Ether, their gas fees, absolutely. So the United States Securities and Exchange Commission has reportedly issued several subpoenas to companies related to attempts to label Ether as a security. According to a March 20th Fortune report on investigation by the SEC into Ethereum Foundation could give the commission regulatory coverage. Hold on, let me pour some more water into here. I'm very thirsty. Whoops. Ethereum Foundation could give the commission regulatory coverage. I wanted to read this again so I can understand what they're saying. To define Ethereum as a security, the foundation suggested via GitHub that it may be under investigation from a state authority. Thank you so much, Clayton Bruce, for the $10 donation. This first YouTube super chat during the live streams. Keep up the good word, dude. Keep up the good work, dude, he says, and sends a $10 donation. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I will absolutely keep up the good work. This is all I know. Julie knows. This is all I know when it comes to putting in effort for some kind of a job. Clayton, thank you so much for that. Seriously. So, while in office... Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Several U.S.-based companies reportedly received subpoenas from the SEC requesting they provide documents and financial records related to dealing. Let's see. So you guys can see this. Related to dealings with the Ethereum Foundation, according to people familiar with the matter. The commission launched a campaign. No. According to people familiar with the matter, the commission launched a campaign to classify Ethereum as security following the blockchain transition from proof of work to proof of stake in 2022. While in office, SEC Chair Gary Gensler has refused to answer direct questions about whether Ethereum qualifies as a security under the commission's purview, despite claiming Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others were not securities in 2018. The commission has approved exchange-traded funds ETFs tied to Ethereum's futures, but has yet to decide whether to approve or deny spot Ethereum ETFs. Many experts expect a decision by May. So Sam Lin says this. So if Gary looks slim, it's because he's been eating nothing but his own words since 2018. Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Why did I name these four? They're not securities. 3/4 of this market is probably not securities. So let's see what this says.
Over 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Why did I name those four? They're not securities. 3/4 of this market.
Listen what he said here.
Over 70% of the crypto market is Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. Why did I name those four? They're not securities. 3/4 of this market is probably not securities.
So what, XRP is just a security all of a sudden? You know, the guys... Crypto firm Prometheum, one of the few companies that have approval from U.S. financial regulators, as a special purpose broker-dealer for digital asset securities, announced in February it planned to offer institutional custody services for Ether. The decision put pressure on the SEC to provide clarification for firms seeking to avoid potential liabilities related to certain crypto assets. Should the SEC move forward with regulating Ether, it could potentially put the regulator in conflict with the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. Lawmakers have been attempting to enact legalization to clarify the roles each regulator would take over digital assets, but no bill had been passed at the time of publication. So that's one angle of that. So if we look at just a couple different ways to look at this, we can now read like Yahoo Finance, just so we can make sure we fact check here. So this was from 3:08 p.m. EDT time. So SEC subpoenas linked to Ethereum Foundation stirs security classification speculation. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has reportedly been issuing subpoenas. So we already know about this. Proof of work to proof of stake, yada, yada, yada. All right, so we got that. Now that's what's going on there. We don't really need to read any farther. I'm not interested. And then this is the other thing. So I hinted at this, that we'd go over this as well. So Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission agree to seal details in the remedies briefing, which I am not happy with. Personally, as an XRP holder, I'm not happy with being blindsided here, not being able to know what's in it. That's just me. You're all entitled to your own opinion, but I think this is a kick in the nuts. Doesn't make me very happy either. I want to know what the hell's going on. Don't keep hiding behind the black tape when you have special deals in the back room. So I'm going to continue on before I get in trouble. Ripple and SEC make peace to seal details in settlement negotiations. This is because there's, who knows, something's going on here. In the ongoing legal saga between Ripple Labs and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, a new development has emerged as exactly a non-disclosure agreement. So what are they going to do? Have a settlement and not have to be able to disclose it? Development has emerged as both parties have submitted a joint sealing proposal to address shield issues related to the upcoming remedies-related briefing in the case. So basically, while they're smoking a cigar and, laughing about what's going on, we don't have any insight. That's what I picture in my head. Brad Garlinghouse, Gary Gensler and all the crew smoking a cigar, drinking some wine and beer, and counting the dough. That's what I picture. But, that's just me. Former federal prosecutor James K. Phelan shared details of the filings on X, revealing that the proposal was submitted before Judge Annalisa Perez of the Southern District of New York, U.S. District Court. If approved by Judge Perez, the sealing request would keep crucial details in a remedies-related briefing, such as Ripple's financial statements and post-complaint XRP institutional sales, concealed from XRP and the broader crypto community. Like, oh, yeah, because that's something we wouldn't want to know as an investor, right? I mean, that's just... The implications of sealing these outcomes away from public access on market sentiment remain uncertain. Additionally, the conclusion and timeline of the protracted SEC versus Ripple Labs lawsuit, which began in 2020, remains unclear, despite the case entering the remedies deliberations. So the key dates coming up for the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, the first is on March 22nd. The SEC is scheduled to file its opening remedies-related brief and supporting declarations and exhibits under seal. Subsequently, on March 25th, the parties will convene to identify redactions, with the SEC expected to release a public redacted version of the brief on March 26th. Further deadlines include April 22nd, the date by which Ripple must file its oppositions to the brief, followed by the filings of a redacted version of the opposition brief and documents. On May 6th, the SEC is set to submit its reply brief under seal, with redacted versions to be filed subsequently. The timeline extends to May 20th, with parties and third parties tasked with filing letter motions and opposition related to sealing details in the filings. As the lawsuit unfolds, it appears destined to continue for several more months, with the final judgment by Judge Perez likely arriving this year or next. Despite members of the crypto community digesting the news of the joint sealing proposal, Ripple XRP has not experienced a bullish run in the general market sentiment, as its price remains below the 60-cent mark. Actually, we're just above 61 cents now recently. XRP has undergone a significant downturn recently, breaching crucial price thresholds previously regarded as robust support. Analysis of the price charts reveals XRP's persistent challenge is suppressing the 65-cent level and the descent below the 57-cent support line, prevailing bearish sentiment in the market in the long term. So that's just what's going on there. And then if you're looking at XRP Healthcare, just type it in and go take a look for yourself. The circulating supply is 99.97 million is the total circulating supply, so 100 million. There's already 56.142 million in circulation. The all-time high on record, technically, is 22.7 cents. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at right now. It's at about 2.4 cents right now, approximately. So that's just one to look at on the ledger that, just between me and you, that's one that I'm getting excited about. So, what are we looking at here? We're up 4.9%. Our next step to move from here would be to go up to that 63.4 cent resistance area. So, we got to basically wait here. The close happens in, 43 minutes now. So, we're kind of waiting here to see exactly what happens. We've had a nice little move with XRP if you're just tuning in. XRP's very key line of resistance. We've got to get back over here, but we could very well form a gigantic W here if we can do this properly. We can do this properly. We don't know if we will, but we can be optimistic here after all. What if we do something like that? Then this back test would absolutely come somewhere right here, and then we could continue on. But this is absolutely vital to keep that 61 cents as support. Then if you break out, you do it in stride, and you can start pushing up to that 77.8 cent area just out of this structure. But we know the wider structure gets you higher. So we're just looking at stuff, folks. Just looking at stuff here. The last 2 weeks has absolutely been about the Fed speech. It sure has. With Bitcoin, we're up about 6,000 points. Again, we talked about this move. If it could come up there and retest the backside of this, it would be interesting, because then you could get the real M-topping reversal instead of just this short one. But you could blow right past this area. You could blow past this area. Remember how we were in that broadening wedge before? I mean, one could speculate now, but then we just kind of form some kind of weird, you know, who knows? But now we've got that extra layer there, but I'm not keeping it like that because we already know our technical, what we can do here. The technical drop, we already met at 62,726, so that's good. We have a little overextended, but it looks like a V-shaped recovery. So this is good. This is good. There's still room in the 4-hourly, but we need more. We need to break back on top of that uptrending resistance to start switching the narrative here. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I don't know Coinstar. I apologize. I've never even heard of it. So if somebody else could help our fine gentleman, I have no idea. Yep. Precious metals and crypto should benefit from the lower dollar, especially precious metals, as I'm very pleased to say that we're over $2,200 for the first time ever. It's unbelievable to see. I've been buying gold since it was at, what, $1,500 an ounce. We've been buying silver since $12, $13, $14 an ounce. Nothing in the recent days since it's been in this area, but a lot leading into it between gold and silver, and it's starting to pay off here. Instead of putting it into a traditional savings or having a self-directed IRA, you know, we went a different route. So this is pretty cool to watch. And silver seems to be starting to break out here. We're up over 25.65. And it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm happy with the way Newmont Gold is performing here the last, couple days, weeks since I've had it now. It's only up like about 9.5% after the rise in the daily. Rise in the after hours. Have $2,000 in Newmont. B2 Gold, I have $4,000, about $4,200 in at $2.44. Good or bad, I'm going to keep building from there. It's at a 6.27% dividend. Newmont's around 4.4%. So interesting, Brighton. Thank you so much for that info. Thank you for that info. And you can check out the app too, so you can do some due diligence and research. It's in the App Store, iTunes, or whatever the hell they call it anymore, the App Store, Google Play Store. So you can take a look at it and see what it's all about too. Don't just go blindly into something. But it definitely had a nice little reversal since I started talking about it. But I fully expect, if this plays out properly for me, I'm hoping to get it to come back down to this uptrend, but you never know. When people were looking at it earlier, it was at like 21.94 area, 22. But we'll see. Obviously, the market's going up. And then the other one that I'm definitely watching is because of maybe like the quality of this. What's been going on in these things with Pika Moon? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Don't even let me click on it right now. But that's something that I was watching as well for the gaming side of things. So we'll see what happens here. But very exciting times. As I was hoping that it wouldn't pump here on XRPH. I was hoping that it would continue to go down so my buys could be scattered down. But we'll see what happens here. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a bullish tug here. But they only have 100 million total circulating supply, and 52 million plus are in circulation already. So it does. Generally, crypto does crash after the initial pump, after the Fed decides to cut. So we'll see what happens here, but we've got that 10 to 15%. Well, obviously now with XRP, but we're used to that. But mostly 10 to 15% across the board. I believe XRP is the worst performing one. Besides XDC, but XDC is behind. Oh yeah, XRP is definitely the worst performing out of the bunch. We're used to that though. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm sure a lot of people did, Harley, but that's why I was showing everybody yesterday too. Even if you were going to sell out, that wasn't the right time. You got to wait for these pumps. Like you're not going to sell on the dump. You've already sat through it. A lot of people sell right at the bottom of a dump for no reason. They already sat through the 20% drop. Why not get the rebound and then sell if you're going to sell? Get that 10% back or whatever. Oh yeah, H-bar definitely is in the gaming world. That's why I love it too. It's definitely in that AI, well, in the virtual world, let's call it, not AI, but it's definitely in the virtual sphere. Speaking of H-bar is up 9.1% today, up to over 11 cents. Again, we put this W reversal at a nice spot here, right at the 10 cent. This is basically the biggest pivot point we have right now. Now to maintain this bullishness, we're going to have to come back over about 12 cent area, 11.9, 12 cents. Then ultimately push back up here through that 13.2 level. We still have a very bullish handle here on for the grand scale. And now we're back testing, it looks like, the handle, and that's all we really have done here. These are either gonna fall, and if this breaks down into a true head and shoulders or I'm topping reversal, it would come down into here around 6-7. If it breaks down all the way. That would just come back to the consolidatory zone. It does suggest you could have some kind of a bounce at 8-1. But right now we're looking good because we never lost that area of support. And as long as we don't, it's still looking good. So Tanya, the only thing is if we get rejected by the ascending formation, we know the breakdown target. So at least we're prepared for that just in case. It's nothing to be scared of. It's just if it does break down, we know ascending formations likely sometimes are topping patterns. Unless you can break out. If we would have broke out, we would have went to 17.5 cents. But no, that's invalidated at that structure. We got to get back over the top, and then we'd push out a little bit farther. So that's interesting to see. XLM's up 8.14%. XLM's coming back up to retest resistance now instead of using it as support. That's why we have to be very careful right now. 13.4 cents is that resistance. The structure did not hold as support, and this could be validating the breakdown. So let's just pay attention here. Let's pay attention here. DGB's up 11.37%. Our baby's doing good today. We're within this formation, so if we get rejected again, it would hit right up here about 1612. Otherwise, we could start pushing out, but that's the fear right now. Actually, it's not. It's a little bit lower. That's the fear right now, is that if we get rejected, it's actually a little bit lower. There we go. It's actually... it's 161. Still the same, roughly. So 161 if this continues to push up. And then you could get a bearish rejection there if it's still bearish. Remember, these are more in the ascending formation varieties. So if they break down, you could have big drops. Every reaction has an opposite reaction. If it doesn't happen to the upside, it's happening to the downside. With DGB, if it happened to break down, it'd be around 0.006. But the beauty of that is, if we got the proper steam here, and we broke up, for DGB, you'd be looking right about that 217 area. So that would be the breakout. So if you break down, it's 0.006 approximately, right down to the lower uptrend. Or you break up into that 2.1 cent area, because we're on a bullish handle right now. That's the thing. This is the handle. So as long as this doesn't break down, these are typically bullish continuations. These are typically bullish continuation patterns. So we have to pay attention because it's a handle. So I like to show that just in case it drops. Thank you so much, Puenta says, congratulations on 21,000 subscribers. Yeah, we just went over that today. I'm so appreciative for that, everybody. And before we hit our 3-year anniversary, I can't believe how far we've grown in, to me, a short amount of time. XDC's at 4.43 cents. XDC is bouncing off of that low uptrend. That we assumed that's where if we were going to bounce, we had to do it there. We've completely fallen out of this, so there's no reason to even look at that. But right now, we're trying to see if we bounce back, you're going to come all the way pretty much back up to the top. We are starting to... here's what we have to look at, though. We are actually starting something like this. So if you look at that flat support, we're starting something like this. So it's either we break up, or if we break down, we know we're coming back down to this area. If we break up, we're going to have a nice rotational push back up to 5.3. So we have a nice support area right around that exact same spot. So just pay attention to that as we continue to flip in and out of these different patterns and charts. Continuing on, we have Julie's happy today as Doge is up 17.1% over 15 cents now, Julie. Trying to put in a W reversal here for Doge. If we're looking at resistance, we got a nice room to run up still. And I think it's pretty easy now because Doge is giving us its formation on a... I like to say when it does this, it gives us to us on a silver platter. So very easy now that we've diagnosed this pattern. And you all could too with me right now. That's approximately what we're looking at for Doge. So, again, do we break out or break down? Doge, you can look at the same exact thing. And I like to show both areas. Right now, until we break down, though, I would like to think that because of the cycle that we could show some steam. And maybe Doge breaks out here. And then the next big run-up is going to be the mid-20 cents if it has a breakout. But as I say, I don't sugarcoat it. I always show the opposite reaction. If worst case scenario happened and we start breaking down, one way or the other, we're going to have a big move setting up, folks. The breakdown would be 4.2 cents. Actually, it's a little bit higher. But do you see what's happening here, folks? It's really, does it break up or does it break down on this formation? With all of crypto, what do you think we do? Do we have this massive breakdown or big breakdowns? All of these are on bullish handles right now. That's why the breakdown would be extreme, just like the reward would be great if it breaks up. Because if you break up out of the bullish handle, it's insane. If you break down out of it, it's a disaster. And then finally, Algo, up 8.21%. We've already had this figured out for a while with Algo. As we knew, it had to come up here. It's trying to put in some kind of bullish handle attempt here. So we're going to see exactly how it plays this out. We're not quite sure with it yet because it's actually showing us quite a little bit different like this right now. But it's giving us it now. Now we don't have to guess. This is what I like. This is when the pattern becomes a lot easier to watch. You know, and then we have to just see how this plays out. So let's watch this as well for Algo. And then total crypto market cap's up 9.45% to 2.47 trillion. It's no different than what we're seeing across the board. And we're going to fix this. We're going to switch this. We're going to make it easier to read. Because we've got our evidence. Told you, there's no more guessing anymore. We've got our evidence now. We don't have to guess. It makes it a lot easier. A lot easier to trade the market. The hardest part is during the drops because you don't know. Now we know the setup because of the drops. See? Does everybody understand what we're doing here when we do these charts? If you don't understand what I'm doing, there's no trading class that I can offer you. But all I can do is give you the comfort. If you come here every single day, you're going to start to understand. I do this for free for a reason. I want everybody to learn who wants to. Can't hide behind a paywall. It just doesn't flow with what I do. I don't want to overestimate this. So I'm going to choose to take the shorter up and down, knowing that there's a lot of over the top that we could get here. I just don't like to go too far over the top, so I break it down in a smaller fashion. So if this breaks up, you're looking at minimum 2.71 trillion. If it breaks down on the total crypto market cap, what is going on, TradingView? Let me grab this. I hate when it does this. It drives me. Nuts. See, it overextended that, but at least we know where it's at. If it breaks up, 2.71 trillion. If the market cap broke down out of the structure, likely would be a 1.89 trillion drop. Or billion drop. Nothing major to worry about. It's just we need to know what we're dealing with. And that absolutely lines up with a double top like we were saying with Bitcoin. So we should get another double top formation here. Even if it's bearish, we should get that double top rejection. We really should, unless something drastic happens. Hopefully that's really what's going to happen. As we get down to the end here, guys, I'm exhausted. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you appreciate my work, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 21,000 subscribers. As I've been on for almost 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours worth of lives today because of the Fed meeting earlier. Make sure you look in the video description below and our pinned comments about BITUNIX. Trade in the USA for the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, period. You don't need to hide behind a VPN. And they have had XRP since the very beginning, and they haven't gone back and got rid of them because of the regulatory uncertainty with the lawsuit. If you want to show me personal support, you can always join Tom's Army or send a YouTube super chat. If you're able to use MEXC, get on there if you want to look at the XRP healthcare, if you want to look at Pikamoon, or if you want to look at YXP, some of these gaming tokens, they're all on there. So that's a pretty cool hub if you can get on it. So that's across the pond, though, if you can. So just make sure you look at all of that. Simon says $1.20 before morning. I mean, if it happens, I'd be the happiest person in the world. So sure, why not? But, that's not my prediction. There's the potential if we break up out of this handle, we do know our technical target as I've given it to everybody. If we break bullish out of this handle, I've shown you today what the technical target is. So you can write this down, put it in the, take it to the bank. If we break up, our technical target's $1.21 if we break bullish out of the handle. If we break bearish out of the handle, because we need to know the opposite reaction if it breaks down. If we were to break bearish out of the handle, we're looking at 2.8 cents. Because if you break bearish out of this handle, on this bullish cup and handle, it's a disaster. And you go back to where it all started, and that's the all-time uptrend. Otherwise, we're going to $1.21, and it's just the beginning, folks, on our way up to probably $1.98. So it's either we're going back to reset, or we're going to start to do some magic here in the very near future. What do you think? In the comments, are we going for a reset to the uptrend of the all-time uptrend? Are we starting to finally make our move towards $1.21 and the technical target? I don't make this up. These are the technical handle breakup and breakdown targets. Do we see the magic or do we reset it all? That's what I want to know. This is about as honest as I can be with you. And a Gala, the bullpen prediction, it's at 5866. I don't need to give you a bullpen prediction. I'll give you a real prediction. I'll just give you a short term because I am exhausted. But if we bounce off this 200-day in the 4-hourly, I can tell you right now, our ballpark estimate for Gala on this push up is going to be remarkable, almost a 1x. If Gala bounces up like it's supposed to here, that's what you're looking at. I'm telling you guys, if we bounce up, most assets are going to go up at least 1x. It's an 85% move, if this plays true for Gala. If not, remember, every action has an opposite reaction, or a consequence in this case. So if we don't get the positive outbreak, you get the negative outbreak. But with this being a falling channel, these are bullish continuation patterns. That's the other thing that I'm very excited about. Despite if we want to talk bearish or bullish, they're in falling channels. It's not like they're in rising channels anymore. This whole consolidation has been falling channel to me. So you're looking at a potential of having that massive breakout to 9.5. Obviously, I'm going to tell you the breakdown target, but if this does it properly, everything's in line for a big move up here. Even in cryptocurrency for that to be a bear trap. So we can be excited, like I said yesterday, how quickly things will change tomorrow in this next 24 hours when we move up 10 to 15%. Everybody was here, who was. So with that being said, I thank each and every one of you. Have a blessed evening, everybody. I'm going to let my voice rest. Thank you all so much for joining the last hour with me. Appreciate everything from each and every one of you. And thanks for being part of the 21,000